78 Sports TV here. So I'm checking out my boy Boxing Beats and Rhymes page.
Doing it from Boxing Beats and Rhymes channel.
This is Tony Thompson, chilling with Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Hey, Glenn, you chilling with Boxing Beats and Rhymes. This is that Mayor Hardcore Man store on Boxing Beats and Rhymes YouTube channel.
The beast is on it, bro.
Yeah, man. Mr. Bashir is my man. That's my man right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just saw it, Mr. Bashir.
Pardon me?
Yeah, we just saw the performance.
So I mean, first your opinion and then your grading.
Okay, Beats, go ahead, Beats. You go first.
I gave him an 8 out of 10. To me, he seems like he has everything there. There's error. The footwork.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, the footwork,
Start
the combination punching, southpaw stance, the timing, the defensive reflexes. I like it.
Start again from the beginning. I didn't hear the first part.
Okay. I gave him an 8 out of 10. I gave him an 8 out of 10. He didn't try and rush out there and get rid of the guy in 2 seconds. Look, the guy had 21 stoppages in 24 wins. Yeah, that means he can hit. He nullified the guy's power.
Yeah.
The power was never a factor. His face wasn't marked up. He didn't take no unnecessary shots. He threw a lot of punches as well for a cruiserweight. His fitness was excellent. His defense was good. I really rate this guy. You know something? When you was talking about him, I said, yeah, everyone's got a prospect. You know what I mean? But this guy was good. He was better than Babertiev, who everyone's been talking about, in my opinion. I was more impressed with that than Babertiev. This guy is a good fighter. Very good fighter. Very good.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted y'all to see that. And your EJ, what you got?
Yeah. I wasn't very impressed. You know me, I'm all about getting hit, and I'm all about hit and not get hit, and the movement and the combinations. Yeah, on the opponent, he frustrated the guy. To the guy, no respect. The mechanics of Usyk with his hands up and the jab, remind me of Ali and all them guys who movement. Like for cruiserweight, I've never seen a guy throw that many punches as a cruiserweight. He throws a lot of punches for cruiserweight. And I was thinking about some of the other champions like a Dennis Leverbed and a Marco Hook. And right now, he beats them. He beats them right now.
Yep.
I graded him. I don't really grade like right now. I gave it like a B+. Like for A, it'd have to be like when he's facing the champion. So for me, a B+, that's very high for me because he's in his 5th fight. And he's going against a guy who like Pete said, who hits hard. And he never took no damage in the fight, and he was completely putting on a boxing display. And you can see the crowd in the Ukraine in the stadium fight. I was saying they know they've got a gem in there, Olympic heavyweight champion fighting at the cruiserweight. For me, a B+, and I was very impressed.
Yep.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate him?
On a 1 to 10, I'd probably rate him like an 8.
I rated him a 9.
Okay.
You know. So 8 is not bad. I gave him a 9, you know, because since I've been training him, that was the best I had ever seen him. I was so pleased. Every round was more increased enthusiasm from me. I was in the corner and I had slipped into a fan mode, you know.
Yeah.
I had to pinch myself and say, whoa, you're the trainer. You got to stay, focused on training.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in the corner. I was being dazzled by his foot movement and his ability. Did you see the punches that he slipped?
Wow.
Yeah.
It was something. It was something.
Yeah.
The guy was throwing punches. The guy was throwing quick counter punches, and he was slipping those punches right there while he was landing punches. And I was so impressed. I said, "Wow, this is the best that he has looked."
Yep.
And that was the most serious opponent that he had faced yet.
Can I just say this for the people listening, right? This guy is just as advanced as the levels of someone like a Lomachenko, just as advanced. He's in that, it's that kind of level of ability we're talking. This is high level of skill at cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Very high level,
Well, cruiserweights, for me, I've never seen cruiserweight throw that many punches and the movement. He's trouble. He's a problem right now.
He's a problem.
He's a problem. The only reason rate 8 is like it's new. I want to get too think but I agree with you, Mr. Bashir. A 9, you know what you're talking about. You know, what you were saying in the corner was the right things as well, man.
Because I look for different things when I'm grading a fighter. I look for different things. There was some other fighters there in the audience, and they came up to me afterwards. I don't want to say any names, you know, but they came up to me and said, he did a little too much dancing, a little too much moving. And I thought to myself, you know, well, how do you please your critics? I mean, if I had told him to go out there and try to take this guy out early and maybe he got head-butted, maybe he got hit with a hard punch and got cut, you know, that puts him out of business for 6 or 7 months. I said, so how do you please the people who criticize you? You be damned if you do and damned if you don't. I told him I saw right away with the young man that we was boxing, I saw right away that the young man had a problem with his legs or a combination of his legs in equilibrium.
Yeah.
So I thought right away, I saw it right away in the first minute of the first round that he was having a problem. And then I was further convinced that it was a problem with his legs. In the second and third round, he kept going off balance and stumbling, and he got hit with a body punch and got knocked down and didn't get credit for it because he got hit with a good body punch. Have you ever seen a cruiserweight go to the body as much as this guy does?
Nope. It was really good. It was, and like see the footwork thing. It's a laughable comment. If you're blessed with legs and, you know, your workouts are you use your legs to box. That's what you do. I mean, you don't have the legs and don't use them. It doesn't make sense at all. I don't understand that comment at all.
Doesn't make sense. So at first I was offended, but I said, nah, that's a person's opinion. I said, and furthermore, you cannot please everybody. I did what I thought was correct. I got a guy in front of me. The guy got no legs, so I simply told Usyk, okay, let's see what the guy does have in his leg. Let's see what he got in the tank. I said, just box him. Keep taking the guy in the southpaw circle and box him. Let's see what he brings to the table. And as it turned out, he couldn't find a way to bring nothing to the table. So he got frustrated.
He couldn't get set to throw no decent punch. Look, you can go through it. People can say, yeah, he knocked out 21 stiffs. No, he knocked out 21 people, right? Out of 24 wins. That's a high KO percentage, yeah? And he could, so let alone knock out Usyk, he couldn't even land a clean shot. He couldn't land a clean shot. I think he landed one good body shot somewhere and one good headshot somewhere. Well, I mean, he couldn't do nothing with him. Couldn't do nothing with him. That's boxing, man. It's good boxing to me.
He couldn't do a single thing with them. We was in superb shape. We did the math. You know, we did 6 weeks of hard training. I think the most dangerous thing with a young fighter like Usyk and Lomachenko is when people start reading them their own press clips. Yeah. You know, they start listening to people outside of boxing or listening to people that's close to their family and friends saying you're great and you're this and that. As long as this young man keeps a level head, I think that he can go further into the division and possibly beat all of the champions that's there right now.
Yes.
I'm anxious to put him in. You know, this kid's got nearly 300 amateur fights, so I don't want to hang around a long time. You know, just fighting everybody who's in the division. I want to fight the top guy. Yeah. Right now, I think, you know, there's a time when you gotta let boxers box. I think there's such a thing of holding a guy back too long and you miss your stop with him, and when you let him loose, it's too late. You know, and you don't get the best out of him then. Yeah. Right now, this kid is feeling himself, and he's looking good doing it, you know. And he's so level-headed. You see how focused he was in that corner? Yep. He made eye contact with me. He didn't miss it. The thing about it, he doesn't speak English good, but he understands it. Yeah. Yeah. He comprehends. He understands English well. He understands it, and he understands English language. He can read it, you know. He just can't express it in words as well. But I communicate with him in my eyes, and it's a certain communication that we have And when we face off, we know that we both understand. I'll look at him and I'll make a note. He said, yeah, I understand. You know, go out there and do it. And he boxes guy. That guy, Daniel Brewer, is a good C plus fighter. He's not a great guy, but he's not a punk either. The kid comes to fight.
Yeah.
He's sturdy, and he'll stand up. If you go to YouTube and look at his prior fights, you'll see that he's the kind of guy that comes to fight. He doesn't come to lay down. So we were very respectful of him going into our training tenure, you know. And as it turned out, that was the best I had ever seen Usyk. I told him before I got on the plane at the airport, I told him I was extremely, extremely happy.
So,
about his.
I wanted to ask you: have you had to change a lot about Usyk since you've had him from an amateur to pro? Have you had to change a lot?
Well, no, like I said, I'm trying to implement my thinking. I already know that Usyk is a puncher. All right, he can punch with either hand. People say, "Oh, it took him 7 rounds," but those punches were hurting that guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was breaking the guy down mentally and breaking the guy down physically at the same time. Those punches, they may look like when you're not up in there, but when you get hit by those kind of punches, I'm holding the mitts for this guy, and I'm saying, whoa. In my mind, I'm saying, whoa. I have to put a mouthpiece in because I don't want to get hit in the mouth without a mouthpiece with this guy. Sometimes they miss the mitts and they punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
Even Vladimir Klitschko's done that. I've worked the mitts with Vladimir, and sometimes the plastic glove will slip off the mitts and it'll hurt you.
You get hit by them guys there.
Yeah, I was saying exactly like we just done the commentary on the fight, and I was saying he was breaking him down gradually. I could see in that round. I said to Beats, Usyk is starting to plant his foot. I think he's going for the stoppage. There it was, man. And the thing is that the opponent had deficiency where his hands were down in the first fight. Like when he throws his jab, he brings his hands down to his waist. Like you knew that was going to be time for Usyk to land on him, man.
Yeah, that was one of our observations in his prior fights. It was one of our observations. Most trainers and most boxers don't realize, you're hitting a heavy bag or a straight bag. You have to box the bags the way you're going to box a human being.
Yeah.
You understand? And that's what they don't teach. The average trainer don't teach that. I'm very observant, and they don't teach that. I implore the boxers I work with to keep your hands up. Make them stay up. Mentally, it's a mental thing, It's the mentality that makes the hands drop like that. If you don't implore that they keep their hands up, they won't do it,
Yep. I was impressed. Highly impressed.
Yeah. I was very impressed.
So Mr. Bashir, moving on now. We've got past this. Where are we going now? Because you remind me of a young kind of Witherspoon, that kind of guy you've got kind of. Where are we going with him now? What opponents are you looking for on the card? Is he going to be up for Christmas?
Champion. We're going to bring him back. He's the WBO Intercontinental Champion. That puts him in the top 10.
Yeah, that's right. For Marco Hook's title.
Yeah, we want the who's who. We want Huck.
Yeah, that's
we want Huck this time next year. We want Marco Huck. Huck is a very sturdy fighter. He's a very good champion, and I feel that Huck is the best of the cruiserweight champions right now.
But that's easy. That's an easier fight to make though because he's in Russia and you.
Well, the WBO is most likely the place we're going to try to land our first title because that's the guys that's supporting us. Yeah. So we're going to try to fight Huck, who I believe right now is the top cruiserweight in the world on paper. Anyway, he's the top guy to beat Marco Huck. Yeah. He's been there for a while, and he's a tough guy, and I feel that Usyk beats him. crowd. You got to deal with the guy you're fighting. You got to deal with fatigue. You got to deal with getting hurt. So it's amazing when a guy can maintain focus and actually deliver on what he has done inside the gym. Usyk is not a gym fighter. He's not that kind of guy. He's the guy that brings the fight to them. Muhammad Ali, believe it or not, was not a very good guy in a training camp. You know?
Yeah.
He wasn't a good guy. Matthew Saad Muhammad wasn't a good guy in a training camp. Those guys weren't gym fighters. They brought their expertise to the fight itself, where it counted the most. You know.
Yeah, man. Hey, so what are you gonna bring them up before Christmas?
Oh yeah, we're gonna go again. We're scheduled to go again between December 13th and December 20th.
Do you know the opponents lined up, or you just get your fighter ready for that?
Well, like I said, we're the Intercontinental WBO champions, so we're looking for the best of the cruiserweights. I'm sure that that the WBO is going to ask them to fight their number 10 guy. I mean, the number 8 guy, number 5 guys. It's going to be somebody that's good.
Hey, so
my suggestion is not to go back, it's to go forward now. You fought Daniel Brewer, who was a good fighter. I'm looking to fight somebody better than Daniel Brewer now.
So what are you saying about? I think Oliver Labi's in line to fight Markov again. So what do you think about Oliver Labi fight?
Markov and Afolabi again. That'll be the 4th fight.
Yeah, I'm just saying. No, I'm talking about you because I think Oliver Labi's in the WBO rankings. So what about possibly that fight? That's a.
I would love that fight. I would love that fight right now.
Yeah. Wow. That's sick, bro.
I think that has the chemistry to make a really, really good fight.
Shit, man, that'd be crazy in the 6th fight.
That's a big jump. It's a big jump.
I like that.
Let me tell you something.
Go on.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
This got, like I said, this kid's got 290 amateur fights. This kid has seen the who's who. Remember, he's won the World Games. All right? He's won the World Games, and he won the gold medal in his 2nd Olympic try. So he's seen every style that was out there, you know? I'm you know, people might say that I'm rushing him, but I'm only enthusiastic about what I see in him. Afolabi would be a great fight for him.
Yeah,
I would. You know, because you know, one thing about boxing, I understand people manipulating boxers or moving a boxer in a venue where they can keep him undefeated and win a world title. But does it really, in my mind, help the fighter? I don't think that helps the fighter. I think that I'd rather have a guy come to the dance. You know, preferably I'd like to keep him undefeated, but I'm not afraid to bring my guy to the dance with 1 or 2 losses, maybe even 3 losses, because in those 2 or 3 losses, I know that I'm going to have an educated fighter. So no, I wouldn't shy away from the Afolabi fight. I wouldn't shy away from the Hernandez fight or Lebeda fight. I wouldn't shy away from those fights. If the promoter came to me and said, "I got this guy," I say, "Get him." And give me 6 to 7 weeks, and I'll bring this guy in the ring ready. This is what I do. This is my life. And I put my all in all to the boxing. And give me any style of fighter. I'll invest myself into Usyk for 6 to 7 weeks. And when I bring him to the ring, we'll come together and we'll have a remedy, the way we did with Daniel Brewer. We'll find a way to not only survive in the fight, but thrive in the fight.
Yeah.
Well, at the level he's at here, he's got nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. Like, he can compete with any of them guys. Even like Gamillo Jones, although Jones is a big dude. He's a big dude, durable, but you know, he can box Jones. He can box Jones and maybe get some success. He's got nothing to fear. Taking on
Oh man, I repeat. Bring me Ola Afolabi. I know Ola. I've trained Ola. You know?
Yeah.
I've trained him. I know he's a good fighter. I know he's a good sturdy fighter. I long for this kind of test. I long to see what I have in Usyk.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the trainers don't never find out what they got until you 25, 30 fights into their career, and then you find out you really don't have nothing. You know? I want to find out right now. I've got a guy that's got 5 professional fights. But he's got a very, very vast amateur career, and I believe in my heart and mind. I'm not being overzealous, because that's why I told you guys about it. I told you guys before you even saw this guy, I said, this guy can fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes it. If you look in his eyes, he likes to fight.
Mm-hmm. You know what? When you see a stadium crowd come out for him, you know the people know he can fight. Because when I was in the beach, it's like, right, how come there's a big stadium? Is he the main event? I goes, yeah. So they know, like, the people in Ukraine.
Did you see that? Did you see that stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see that place?
And he was the main event. He was the main event too.
The main event in his 5th professional fight. Did you see the stadium in his 5th professional fight?
Crazy, man. That's what you know. But the people know. I see them in the cold. It was freezing there. I see them with their jackets on. I was like, damn, you know what? It's not no world title. I was like, they know. They know, you know, there's a gem. Everyone's talking about it right now. People in England, they're talking about Usyk here. I think everyone's talking about him right now. I think, you know, if you so fast track him to them guys right now, I think the boxing will stand up and say, who's this guy over here? They will descend on in the Ukraine. This guy is the real deal, man. It's the real deal.
Yeah. But can I just ask, what is the reason?
Anthony Joshua knows Usyk. They won the gold medals at the same time.
Yeah, I know. That's right. He's super middleweight. Yeah.
I still want to ask though. As talented as he is, and what is the rush to fast track him in his 5th and 6th fight though?
I think the promoter and the fighter himself is coming to me, and he's coming to the promoter saying, I want to fight now. Okay. And I'm the kind of trainer, my belief is when a guy is coming to me saying, I want to fight, and I can beat these guys now, I'm the kind of trainer saying, hell yeah, you can beat him. Let's go get him. Let's go get him. I want to add fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
Because I think, I don't want to just tell a guy, let's go fight because they have desire, but he has the desire and the capabilities. So I'm saying, yes, let's put some fuel on the fire. Let's go get them now, right while they feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Because if the fighter don't feel like doing it, they're not going to do it. Yeah. This guy feels like, he said, man, I can break the record of Evander Holyfield. He said, I can do that. Holyfield took the title in a tough 15 round against Dwight Muhammad Qawi. Yeah. He said, I can take the title in 9, maybe 10 fights. I can take it. This time next year, I can take any one of the cruiserweight champions. He said, to be honest, I feel I can take the champions right now. This is what he tells me every day. I can take them now, and I can take them. I know I can. So I don't want to spend a lot of energy and a lot of time trying to build the fighter down. I want to build the fighter up. If he feels like he can do it, who am I to say that they can't do it? So I'm saying, yeah, we can beat him. Let's go sit down and watch some films of him, get to know him like he's our next door neighbor, and then by the time we get to the fight, we'll be able to overcome what he's doing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. He seems very mature as well. Very mature. So
very mature, very disciplined, very focused, never a hiccup, you know, it's never a problem with him, you know. I like him. I really like him. I like him because he's a very spiritual guy. You know, we were on the way to the city we were fighting in. It was 5 hours away from Kiev. We had to take a 5-hour ride. First, we was going to get a plane, but we couldn't get that. And so we had to drive there. And it was a 5-hour ride, and it was a pleasurable ride. For 5 hours, we rode together. And he asked me, I think it was 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. He says, listen, I'd like to pull off the highway. And there's a church about an hour away from where we're going. I like to go in there and pray. You know?
I see the cross around his check. I see the cross around his neck. So he's a Christian. He's a born again Christian, right? Or is he Christian?
He's an Orthodox Christian, you know?
Okay, all right. Yeah.
And we went to a huge, I had never seen a church that massive in my life. We went to some massive, huge church somewhere in the Ukraine, 11 o'clock at night. It was 11 o'clock at night, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it had to be 75, 80 people walking around the building, and we went into this place in some part of the cathedral where it was built around some kind of a rock or something. We went there and prayed and stuff. We went downstairs inside the church, and they fed us and stuff and sent us on our way. And I was it was a great experience, you know. He's a great experience. This young man has a great experience. I like him, you know. I mean, I embrace him. We communicate. You know, we communicate with each other so well. And he told me that I have replaced the father that he lost. You know, he said I'm like a father to him. So I appreciate that. It makes it easier.
Yeah.
He has unyielding respect for me. And I like it. These are the things that you need to make a champion.
Yeah.
I told you, I got my foot on the gas.
Yeah.
I got my foot on the gas and the brake at the same time. All I got to do is just take my foot off the brake and let this kid go. I'm telling you, you know.
Yeah. You're out since so we look forward to the fight in December, and then what were we saying? We saying like what? This time next year, challenging for a world title.
Oh yeah, I feel they got him on the fast track.
Yeah.
The promotions, A2 promotions, and the West, they got him on the fast track. Vitaly Klitschko was at the fight.
Yeah.
He was at the fight.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we saw Vitaly there. We saw Vitaly. Yes, all good. It's all good. Good combination. Good coach. A good fighter. Olympic gold medalist. And
you see how composed he was in that corner.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, he looked like the opponent. You know, he wasn't overwhelmed by anything. He was so mature, like you guys said. And I looked at him. I said, I was just comparing him to all the champions right now. Because, you know, earlier on today, I interviewed Nathan Cleverly's trainer. Yeah. And Nathan Cleverly's trainer believes if he gets past Bellew, because he's in the cruiserweight as well.
Cleverly or Bellew can't beat that guy there. They can't get nowhere near that guy.
The trainer believes that right now he can beat some of the champions right now, but like the Usyk fight is
fighting that cruiserweight, right?
Yeah.
Pardon? Yeah, he's fighting Tony Bellew, right? Coming fight. And I was talking to him about the champions Hawk, and he believes that Tony he can beat all them guys right now. I said, yeah. I won't be surprised he could, but Usyk now is the type of guy that people don't want to fight because he's a problem.
Right.
He'd destroy Cleverly. He would destroy Cleverly.
No, he'd beat Cleverly up.
He'd beat Cleverly up, man. Cleverly take a beating.
He'd beat him up and stop him in about 9 rounds.
He'd beat Cleverly and Bellew in one night. From what I saw there, he'd beat them both in the same night.
Yeah.
I'm being serious. He'd beat them both in the same night. I'm being serious. I'm not even joking. I'm not just saying that because you're here. From what I don't think them guys are as good as that.
Listen, I agree. I'm just saying like this. I know Usyk's a problem. That's what I'm trying to say. Usyk's a problem for anyone because in the cruiserweight limit, I was saying to Beach, what cruiserweight do you know who fights the way Usyk fights? And there's none. No one fights like that ever fight and throws that many punches. The mile output he throws and lands, and it's accurate. And then he's not in position to be hit because of the movement. And if he is going to get his hands are up, you're not getting a target. And he's got a long reach. And it hurts. The jab's not probing, it's hurting. The jab's hurting you. And he's rolled the jab up and down head and body.
One of the things that I was most impressed with in this fight here was how he alternated, how he changed from the combos up top and then switched and did good body punches and go back up top at the same breath. And that impressed me.
Yep. Jab to the body was good. Everything was good. Everything worked.
And now he's just touched, but you got to feel his punches. When you feel his punches, you say, well, these are pretty solid punches, you know?
Yeah.
It looks easy to somebody outside the ring, but they got to feel the impact of those punches, and then they will know that this guy is really taking a good shot here, that Daniel Brewer was taking good punches. But you saw his face at the end.
I was saying she was grinding him down. I see Ali do that. Ali used to do that. Slowly grinding. Because I know you've been there in the Ali camps. I don't know, like, as you train, you teach him to this grind. Did he learn that from amateurs, or is that you, where you just teach him this grind guy down? Slowly.
I told him, I think around the 4th or 5th round, I said, okay, let's settle down and start backing him up now. He's trying to take a blow.
Yeah.
So let's settle down and start backing him up.
I saw that. I was saying to the beast, I can see him. You can see him. He was less movement. It looked like he was standing more. He was going for the knockout. When the knockout happened, he was looking for it. He was looking for it in that round, that league. You know what I'm saying? I can see that.
Well, yeah, the guy was so free. Yeah.
The guy tried to goad him into a fight.
Yeah.
I shouted from the corner and said, no, go back to boxing.
Yeah.
Because I told him to settle down in the 5th round and start trying to back him up. But we came forward, and I saw that Daniel threw some good punches that still had a lot of pop on him. So I said, okay, all right, he's not ready yet, so let's go back to boxing. We'll come back and check on him around round 8 and find what he's got then. But we didn't make it to round 8. When he settled down the 5th, he came forward, started placing some punches, but I saw Daniel threw some pretty solid punches.
Yeah.
And I said, no, he's not ready yet. So let's go back to boxing, circle him, and we'll go back and check on him in 8 or 9 rounds. We got a 12-round fight. We'll check on him in 8 or 9 rounds, and then we'll come back to try to knock him out.
Yeah. Well, when Daniel started screaming at him, coming out, he was getting frustrated, and then he just walked in with his hands down, and the left hook just took him out. You know what I really liked? He was your man was throwing 6-punch, sometimes 8-punch combinations. Man, it was like, wow,
wow, what's that?
Right. and the left hand that knocked Brewer out wasn't a clean left hand. It wasn't clean.
No,
if you look back at the first step, it didn't land clean. It landed at the very bottom of the chin.
Yeah,
and that one had landed an inch and a half higher,
yeah,
he would have never got off the floor.
Yeah, the thing is, he was coming towards the punch as well, like with his hands down. He just almost took his head off, man.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It was kind of brutal in the end,
Well, it was a brilliant.
I thought he was going to go the distance for a minute.
Nah,
I knew it wasn't going to distance. I felt that it wouldn't go to distance because he was breathing hard. He was really breathing hard. That pace was too much for him.
Yeah. That's what the frustration when he had his hands down. He was trying to go, but and the thing is, Mr. Bashir, when you see him moving, when you see Brewer moving around doing stuff that he doesn't normally do, you knew he was frustrated. He was trying to move with his feet now.
Good point.
And I was like, well, how long is he going to keep that up? That's going to make him tired himself. He was frustrated. He would go completely bedazzled by the style and saying. That's what Ali people used to say about Ali. They used to complain about this and he moves too much. Listen, the less damage you take in this game, the longer you're going to be around. Though,
That's
right.
Yeah. That's right.
The name of the profession. They don't say, what kind of sport you? I'm in the professional boxing. Yeah. We're not in the professional punching. We're in the professional boxing. We win fights on points and technique. The people was enthusiastic because he made boxing into an art form the other night. And that's what people watch for. People don't mind watching boxers, but they want to see boxers with an art form. Yeah. He brought art into the ring. He had a paintbrush, and he was painting a portrait the other night. He was boxing the guy from the outside. How many clinches did you see in that fight?
You know what? I didn't see any. In fact, you know what? I was actually trying to count how many times Usyk got hit. I only counted like 3 times or 4 times in the fight, probably. They weren't hurt. And you're right, I didn't count the clinches. And I think there was none. Any clinches.
No, it wasn't. It was clinch free. It was clinch free for the most part. Yeah.
That's crazy, man. And you know what?
They were taking chances. It wasn't like it was 2 guys just jumping around the ring. They were taking chances.
Yeah.
Both guys was taking chances. They engaged each other.
Yeah, man.
That's why I say that they made boxing an art form. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be out there just jumping around, 2 guys rolling around their fists in the air. You had 2 guys that was engaging each other trying to land punches. And that's what makes boxing exciting.
Yeah, the crowd looked like it was exciting. They liked it. I liked it. I like that style of. I don't like being hit. Why would you want to get hit anyway? Like, I don't understand. Like, people complaining like stand there to get your head took off. I mean, look, that
guy Bull took a beating the other night. He took a beating. He just took a beating. I said, wow, this guy's taking a lot of punches. So I said, I said, just be patient. Just be patient. He's not going to keep taking them kind of punches because he was getting hit hard.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Well, I was saying his head's for cement or something like that. But he's
tough. You could see he was thickly built, man. He was comfortable at the weight. He wasn't drained or nothing.
When he got knocked down, he got up, he wanted to continue fighting, leave from the corner with a complaint. I was like, they crazy, man. They gonna get that guy killed out there.
They're gonna get him killed.
Yeah, they would, man. They would.
The guy, you see when he hit the floor, he stayed on the floor for 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was over. The referee done the right thing, man. He went down face first.
He was. You know why he wanted to continue? Because he was embarrassed. That's why he wanted to continue his fight.
The fighter didn't want to continue. The corner wanted to continue. The fighter was done for the match.
The fight was to continue. He was complaining to the referee.
No, he was complaining because the corner was complaining. He didn't want to continue. The fighter didn't want to continue. It was the corner. The corner was making him complain. You know.
All right. Well,
because the corner was a bunch of idiots. You know. The corner was arrogant South African guy had the corner.
Oh, you talking about Nick Durant?
Nick Durant.
Yeah. You familiar with him?
Yes. He was in Ruckman's corner when he knocked out Lewis.
His daddy used to play football over here, and he's in loads of he comes over to England regularly. He was over Sugar Boy Malinka's corner when Sugar Boy Malinka beat Nigel Benn.
Yeah, I see him in the for African guys corner. You know,
I don't like him. I think he's got a nasty disposition. He's not respectful. You know, he's not respectful. He thinks that he's bigger than what he is. I don't know the guy from a can of paint.
Yeah.
Right? I never saw the guy up until then. I never knew who he was, you know. I worked with Rockman. I was there with Rockman. I was there when Rockman knocked out Lennox. I did this. I did that. He's walking around with a house and gold chain around his neck like he had a Mr. T starter kit on, you know, gold rings on his hands and stuff, you know. And he's going around, everybody knows me and this now. I said, I don't know who he is, and I really don't care because he's an arrogant, disrespectful guy. I found him to be very arrogant and very disrespectful. I can get along with anybody just as long as you respect me. But in the rules meeting, I asked a question about the gauze and the tape because some people in different countries use different tape. So I said, are we going to go by WBO rules? He said, well, WBO don't have the rules. I said, excuse me, sir. I said, but I was in Australia, and WBO told the fight, David Tool, you have to use a standard tape. That's WBO rule. He said, well, you're not in Australia now. You're in Ukraine. I said, yeah, but the WBO rules is universal, whatever country we're fighting in. That's what I'm pointing out to you, sir. But he was arrogant. I found him to be arrogant and disrespectful. And when I find a person like that there, I just say, you know what? Leave the person alone. Go on and do your business because the way he's talking is like he wanted me to bow down and kiss up to him like he's somebody. But he's nobody to me because I've been around this 43 years and I've seen bozos like him, clowns like him. So I'm not impressed at all. You know, I'm not impressed by that kind of stuff. You know, but he's the kind of guy that will bring out the street in me. You know, I don't want to bring that kind of person out. That person, I keep that person on a leash down in the basement of myself. You know, I'm a different guy now, you know. So but there's still that person in me, you know, from the streets that lives in the basement of my soul. And I keep it on a leash to sell in the basement. Every now and then that person breaks out and takes over. And when he takes over, the other guy's in trouble. That's how I feel. Well, Nick Durant, he got an arrogant disposition. He's arrogant and disrespectful. He thinks he's bigger than what he is. He's nothing. He's just another human being. You know?
Yeah, but you ain't gonna see him again. I don't think he got none of them cruises.
You never know, Errol, man. It's a small world, boxing, you know? You never know.
I got the division in front of me, like there's two South African guys in the the last South African guy was Corey Sanders, so I don't think you'll be seeing him again too often. But man, your man put on actually earlier the Cejudo, but he don't go.
It's what I call a boxing clinic.
Yeah, that's what it is like. You know. I think the trainer probably knows these fighters.
Nick Durant told the press down there. He said, "Yeah, Usyk won the gold medal, but he's not that good a boxer." I wanted to go up to him after the fight. I didn't talk to him after that. You know, after he showed so much disrespect in the rules meeting, he thinks he's. I don't know what he think he is. You know. But after he showed so much contempt and disrespect, I never bothered him again. I never said nothing else to him. But I wanted to go up to him and say, well, what do you think about his boxing skills now? You tell him that he's not that good at boxing. What do you think of his boxing skills now?
He probably say the fight should have continued. He'll probably make excuses. I think he did the right thing. I think he probably knew his fight was overmatched, though, to be honest with you, know? He knew his fight was overmatched.
He was outclassed, you know? He was outclassed.
I think that's anxiety. You know what I mean? You know, some guys, they know they're gonna lose and they just want to be bad-minded. So, you know, you look, end of the day.
Like I think that Daniel Brewer is a nice young man. You know, I like, and I like. It was another guy that was with Mr. Duran.
Yeah.
You know, and he was a pretty cordial guy. It was just Mr. Duran. It's something about him that I don't like.
Yeah.
And I know it's about me that he don't like, and I really don't care. So, you know, we don't have to associate with each other anyway, you know. But I think in life you have to be cordial and respectful of the human beings next to you. You just don't say and do things and act screwed up when you're around other human beings. You have to be considerate of human beings. I've been in this thing a long time, and most of the places I go, and most of the people I come in contact with, they respect me for my ability. They respect me for the kind of human being I am. But when a person crosses that line, I say, you know what? I got to leave this person alone because this person doesn't have respect for me. My mother said, if you encounter a person who doesn't respect you, son, she said, cross the street and get as far away from that person as possible. And now I understand, because those people will make something come out of you that will cause you to get in some deep trouble. And then you say, wow, when you're in trouble, then you say, it wasn't even worth it. So I should have just, my mother said, if you see a lion coming down the street and you're on the sidewalk, she said, wouldn't it be wise for you to just cross the street? She said, because you know the nature of the lion, so why are you going to try to walk past him? You know the nature of that lion. Most likely he's going to come up to you and try to get your scent. He's going to do something to provoke you. So just cross the street and keep it moving, you know? And that's what I feel about Mr. Duran. I don't like him. I don't like him, and I don't want to come in contact with him again. You know? But I'm looking forward to putting Usyk in. He said that he wasn't that good a boxer. I think he is that good a boxer. I think he can go all the way. The fight that Lebedov just had, that fight wasn't much.
Hey, Beach, I'm getting feedback there, Beach. Yeah.
Oh, okay, is that from me? Okay, I'm muted up.
If you could mute, if you want. All right. Yeah. Like you were saying, what you saying about Lebedev?
Lebedev, the last fight he had, he knocked the guy out, and one the Polish guy he just fought Saturday before last.
Yeah. He fought on your guy fought on a Friday. I think Lebedev fought on a Saturday. Now he fought the next day.
No. Lebedev and them fought week before last. My guy fought last Saturday night, and Lebedev and them fought the Saturday night before my guy.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, man. So yeah, like he that opponent he fought ain't good. Like look, you reckon? I think you could. You know what? Because you got the stadium thing. Yeah, that little don't sound like all them guys will be coming because you got the stadium. Like. You know what I'm saying? From the time you're fighting in stadiums and they can, you the stadium be full out. So most of the guys are going to make some money over there, bigger than Germany. So there's no reason why none of these fights can't happen. It's up to K and Thing, man. He could be a champion, to be honest with you. Like, that many...
I think that Uncle Huck is opening his own company, as I've read. He's going to open his own promotional company. So most likely those fights will happen.
Yeah. That'd be good. I don't think Marco would want it though, because I think if he's smart, I think
what happens a lot in boxing. You know, like a lot of people kept calling me and saying, "Well, you don't want to fight this kid Daniel Brewer because he's a good, sturdy fighter." I think he's just a C+ fighter, but he's good at what he does. And I looked at the films. I said, "Yeah, this kid's pretty tough. You know, he can fight. You know," but I think. In my mind, by looking at him before the fight, I said, we need to fight guys like Daniel Brewer because Daniel Brewer comes to fight.
Yeah.
He has some boxing skills, and he has some heart because he didn't come in there to lay down.
Nope.
He has the competitive drive of a fighter. And I said, we need to fight these kind of guys to be able to move forward and have any claim to the cruiserweight championship of the world. You got to go past guys like Daniel Brewer, and I don't want to decrease in competition. I want to constantly get better with the competition. You know, I would like to see him fight anybody who's in that WBO Intercontinental group. You know, I'm going to take a look at that. Can you pull that WBO?
I've got it right here. We Glazwacki, Christoph Glazwacki, Victepia Morono.
Where's he from? Those guys.
I haven't got the nations of where they're from, but you know, Tony Bellew and Cleverly are 5 and 6. Gregory Drizard is at 4. You got
that's intercontinental ranking.
No, this is just the WBO rankings. Oh, you want the intercontinental, right? I don't know where they are.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I got the Ring magazine. I got all the names. I got the countries. I got Yo Pablo Hernandez, #1 from Cuba.
Not in the WBO.
No, this is the Ring magazine. This is all of them.
Yeah, just give me the ring. Give me the ring. That's the ones we want.
Yeah, okay. So Johan Pablo Hernandez from Cuba. He's the
IBF.
Yeah, he's the IBF. They recognize him as the linear champion right now, right? Because he's cunning them, whatever. And Marco Hupp is #1 after him, the WBO from Germany. And we got this other guy called, what's his name? Doja from Russia.
Gregory Droza.
I don't know who he is. He's ranked #2.
He just beat the WBC champion. He just took that title.
Yeah,
him.
He
beat Wodak,
yeah, he's #2. And then Dennis Leber is #3 from Russia. And that Christoph guy is #4. Olaf Alabi is #5. Is it Firo Arslan? #6. And we got Alembe Mokobo from the Congo. Not Tavise. What's his name? Teruno Machuna. He's #8. And all the other guys here from Russia and Congo. But
I don't want to avoid no style, no fight. I think that Usyk can make those adjustments, you know.
Hey, what about Roy Jones fight, man? What about Roy Jones fight? But Roy Jones is in the cruiserweight division. What about that fight?
Oh man, I wouldn't want Usyk to fight Roy Jones. I wouldn't want that. You know, I don't want that.
I
don't want to see Roy. I don't want to see Roy get hurt. I like Roy.
Yeah.
And Roy, I mean, can you see Roy trying to fight with Usyk? No, no, he'd get hurt. He'd get hurt. I don't care what he does. He'd get hurt in that fight. You know, and I don't want to be the guy to send Usyk against him, but Usyk would hurt Roy. You know, he's not going to take those kind of punches.
Well, the thing is, Mr. Bashir, if Roy gets another win, he will be in the rankings to fight a guy like yours to try and get a shot at one of the belts. So whether you like him or not, business is business. If you got to fight Roy, that's what you got to do. If you got to end the myth, that's what you got to do.
I understand, but my thing is, you know, and maybe it wouldn't be so bad because then I would try to end Roy's career with Usyk. I'd help him out. I'd send Usyk out to take him out. Roy, with all the boxing skills he got, he's not going to be able to beat no Usyk, you know. Because if he beat Usyk, we might as well go and get Usyk a job, you know. Roy is done, you know, and he needs to get out. But I guess he got a legitimacy to be there. Roy would probably say, well, I'm not done, you know. And who am I to say that he's done? He's a great former champion. So he's going to be like most of the guys, Ray Robinson, Ali, Liston, all those guys. They hung around until some young guy come along and knocked them out of there. So if that's what Roy wants, then most likely that's what he's going to get. I'd send my guy out to knock him out, though. You know, I wouldn't even let him try to go 5 rounds with Usyk. You know? I think that the cruiserweight division is a sleeper division. I think there's some great fights to be made there in the cruiserweight division. But the one fight that stands out in my mind that I would really, really like to see, I'd really like to see Ola Afolabi and Usyk fight.
I would like that. I would love to. Or Guillermo Jones, as long as he isn't on them directs. I think them fights are really good fights.
Chemistry, man. Chemistry, styles. Usyk versus Ola Afolabi is a great matchup. You know.
Well, you know Ola quite well because he was in the camp with you guys. He was a sparring partner for Vlad and Vitaly.
I told you I worked with Ola quite a few times. I worked with him. I trained him in the camp. Yeah. I was training him in the camp. And I know he's a rugged, tough guy. He's a rugged, tough guy. Yes, he's really rugged. He's really tough. He can take a punch, and he can punch himself, you know. And I would like to match Usyk up with Ola Afolabi. I would like to see that fight. as a fan and as a trainer. I'd like to see that fight because if we can beat a guy like Ola Afolabi, I'm certain I would be more certain and more confident going into a world title fight. You know, if we can beat a guy like Ola Afolabi, I would be much more comfortable going into a world title fight.
I agree.
To me though, like Afolabi's someone you fight when you've got the title, man. But then again, you guys ain't looking to take the safe way around, but you know what I mean? You guys are looking to do it the old school way.
No, I want my guy prepared for the best fighters in the world, you know. Again, I'm not his manager and I'm not the promoter, but if I have any input, you know, I would suggest that they ask me about it. I wouldn't steer away from those guys. In fact, I would set a course straight for Ola Afolabi right now. In the sixth fight, I would set a course to send him right to Ola Afolabi right now. That's the kind of fight I would like to have right now, Ola Afolabi. Because it's a fight, to me, that makes more sense than taking a bunch of in-between fights that could be tough fights. You know? I said we can set a course for Ola Afolabi right now as opposed to fighting 3 or 4 unknown guys that could be rough, tough fights, and nobody knows them.
Yeah, and you know what? So you don't have any input. You have no input in the decision making of who he fights, right?
My suggestion is that the promoters, everybody, I think that's another thing that fouls up the sport of boxing because nobody checks with the trainers. The trainers know the fighter best, what he's capable of doing, what he's not capable of doing, what his pluses and minuses are. Nobody, I mean, it's like, oh, we'll just go ahead and make the fight, and then you deal with getting the guy ready. And he may not be ready, or he may just be ready, and they might be avoiding the fight. It's best for everybody out there in listening land, and your manager, or your aspiring managers. I think that is best. I think it's educational, if you will, to contact and communicate with your trainers and get their spin on it. Even if you don't listen to them, at least get their spin on it and say, well, I talked to my trainer doesn't feel that he's ready right now, or my trainer feels that he is ready. You understand? It's best to consult the trainers, the people that's with these guys day in and day out, and they can tell you what the fighter is capable of doing and what he's not capable of doing. So, you know, for all those people out there who are listening, you know, get in touch with your trainers because those are the key factors. Those are the guys that's with the people, the fighters more. They know the fighter outside of the guy's family. They know the fighter better than anybody. They know what he can do. They know what he can't do.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna edit this thing. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna contact Ola Afolabi, and we gonna get this popping right.
Yeah, definitely.
We gonna get it popping.
Man, look, I would love that fight. Ola Afolabi is a hell of a fighter.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a fighter. You know, he's a hell of a fighter, and he's tough, and he can crack, and he can take a punch. Yeah. And he's not. Ola Afolabi is not going to back down from nobody. I know him good.
Yeah. I'm really excited about that fight. I'm really excited about that fight.
I'm salivating about the fight. You know,
that's good because you know he's gonna bring it. He's gonna bring it. Yeah, and they're gonna think. Listen, this is what you like. You said the two of them they're gonna put on a great fight for the people watching, and you know, it should be a good fight. I think that's a great fight. I agree with you, man. I think that's what he needs, man. That's what he needs. That's the right level for him right now for where you see him because. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
Yeah, I love that fight because Ola is a rugged, tough guy. If I can beat Ola Afolabi, Oleksandr Usyk, if I can beat Ola Afolabi going into any fight thereafter, I'd say, yeah, let's go. I'd have all the confidence in the fighter in the world. Yeah, I have confidence now, but my confidence would be like as tall as the Empire State Building off a win over Ola Afolabi.
Yeah, there's nothing to fear after you defeat me.
And trust me, that's not a shoe-in that we could win that fight.
No.
Yeah. But it's a risk that I'm willing to take. It's a risk that I'm willing to take.
Yeah, well, on paper, that's a 50-50 fight. I mean, like, that guy, he's been in 3 close fights with Hook, you know. Like,
Bobby's a seasoned guy.
Yeah. On paper, it's a fit. Like, you know, that's a really tough. That's a great matchup. It's a great matchup for the boxing fan. that's pure gold. That's a gold. I mean, that's a great fight.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Bashir, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We're gonna have to wrap this up. I got something, but hey, thanks for this post-fight interview for Oleksandr Usyk versus Daniel Brewer. And when are you next? You say you got back out in December, so we try and keep you up before then, though. Right?
We're gonna do another fight. We're gonna do another fight. I was informed by the promoter.
Yeah.
They're looking to match him up in December 13th or December 20th. So I'll return to the Ukraine after I leave out of Germany. I'll be in Hamburg, Germany, with Vladimir Klitschko to fight.
Perfect. Pulev, fighting Pulev, yeah?
Yeah, Kubrat Pulev thereafter, and then I'll return to Ukraine to start the training camp for Oleksandr Usyk. And again, you know, I'd like to compete with the top guys there in the cruiserweight division. So don't be shy. You know, we're there. We're the international champion now, and we're not going to shy away from it.
Yeah,
you know, every fighter's career, and I'll say this and I'll let you go. Every fighter's career has its nemesis. So, you know, and Usyk's career is probably no exception to the rule. Well, what I am saying that this kid is anxious to learn. This kid makes me anxious to teach, you know? And when you got guys out there such as Ola Afolabi, a notable guy, this is the guy that I have great respect for, and his ability and his toughness, you know, and his desire. I got a lot of respect for him. But that's a fight that I wouldn't shy away from. I'd go with that fight. I'd rather than fight, like I said, 3 or 4 guys that's unknown that can cause problems. I'd rather fight a guy that's known that can cause problems. Yeah. And Ola's that guy, you know?
Yeah. You know what? We try to hit you up before maybe the post-fight of Klitschko or maybe pre-fight before that round time. So we'll probably hit you up soon. But just before the Klitschko fight. Because I know you will be
reach out. You got my numbers and stuff. You got my addresses and stuff. So reach out for me. I'll be right here.
All right, man. Thanks, Mr. Show. Thanks for your time.
You guys have a good day.
You too.
Man.
You too.
All right. Peace.